right, welcome to another Huddle Breakdown Extra Time. I'm your host Martin Murphy and joined as ever by James and by Alan. How are you guys?
Good.
Long day. Yeah.
We didn't coordinate it.
Cool face.
Martin, we didn't coordinate this, but we're dressed like kissing cousins here. Unbelievable.
I would never be a kissing cousin of yours, James, much as I admire you. A lot of projection going on there.
Got the reddish pink going. This is all in our
kind of blue stripe, kind of linen. I don't know. It's
okay. All right. See, I'm colorblind, so it just looks kind of the same as mine.
I think you were kind of flirting with me a little bit there, James. And I'm not saying I'm not flattered, my friend. You know.
I'm not sure it's colourblind. It's some kind of blind. That's why you keep kissing the wrong
people. And
fair enough.
And Alan's
this is why I don't. That's why I don't use my eyes to watch the games. That's right. I have to rely on the numbers because I'm blind.
I was just going to say, Alan again courting popularity there with his Pixies T-shirt again. You know, and
it's on rotation. Play. You know, I've only got so many T-shirts. It's that time of the week.
You did the laundry already, right?
That's it. Yeah. I actually saw them last night because I had to watch the game in delayed transmission. So. One of the things about their new album is was it The Day the Zombies Came? So I thought, is that to do with Manchester 2008 or something like that? You know, but I'll need to research that a bit further. It seems strangely fitting, but it was a good night, and I was kind of doing my likely lads, my Rodney Bew's Celtic Supporters Club, trying to avoid results and so forth to get back and watch the game. So I was richly rewarded, although exhausted by the end of all that. So it was a good night all in all, really. So guys, quite a lot to get through. I know you've been working really hard there, given the time the game ended and then getting the pod out, and doing the analysis and so forth. So we'll be talking about the match against Aberdeen, the 5-1 victory last night. We'll also be looking ahead, of course, to lifting the league trophy against St Mirren at the weekend. And I guess we'll be looking at, some of the what may be regarded as fringe players coming in and their performance and how that may impact for the cup final coming up as well. I'm sure we'll have some poetry corner nearer the end, perhaps. So that's something else to look forward to. The Pure of Heart, the Thinking Fans podcast, as I've said before, Alan. So we'll see how we'll see how all
drinking
that goes.
Mans, did you say?
you know what the two are often intertwined, I would suggest. The more creative, you look at all your Shane McGowans and so on, all these wonderful Irish poets and all that over the years as well. So, Brendan Behan and all the rest of them. So I think if we maybe start off looking at last night. So, as I say, a 5-1 victory at Pittodrie, the place of dung in Gaelic, of course. Perhaps fitting, sadly, for Aberdeen. What I'd be kind of interested in, guys, now I'll come to you first, Alan, is an interesting game in a lot of ways because of the changes in both sides. So we had, 6 for Aberdeen, 8 for Celtic. So in terms of what we can learn for the cup final, perhaps a bit limited. However, very interested to get you guys' views on the performance of the so-called fringe players and how they got on, really. So I suppose, Alan, overall then, were there any players that came in that you haven't seen much of that impressed, that maybe even surprised you, perhaps?
Yes, I don't know about surprise. I mean, I think Rodgers recognised that he probably slightly misled people. Maybe it's not his fault. Maybe he was accurate in what he said and he can justify it. But I was kind of expecting maybe 3 or 4 changes at the weekend, another 3 or 4 changes midweek, and maybe another 3 or 4 changes.
Yeah.
Not like, we'll put the first team out against Hibs and then we'll change everybody, apart from Callum McGregor. Oh,
of course.
How stupid were we to think that Callum McGregor would get a rest? Craziness is that. So yeah, it was a bit surprising that that's the approach he's taken. But in some ways, why not? In the sense of, you don't want these players playing 3 games a week at risk of injury. We mentioned how some players are maybe toiling a bit. Carter Vickers, Johnson, desperately needed resting. Hatate, who I'm sure we'll cover again, has played in every game. I think he's got the most appearances of any player.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a case to be made for resting players. But it was a bit surprised. But on the other hand, you don't want to kind of show your hand for the cup final. I mean, what did Aberdeen learn about Celtic from that game is probably a good question to ask. What I don't know, and again, listen, I mean, no apology for the fact we focus on the opposition because Celtic don't play in a vacuum, and the way Celtic perform is usually influenced by the team that they're playing. So we spend an equal amount, almost, of time talking about the opposition as we do Celtic, because that to me that's proper, rounded analysis. And I don't know whether Aberdeen made 6 changes because, they were kind of, this is a build up to their own preparation, or whether he actually made 6 changes because they were so absolutely dire at the weekend and he felt this was actually the best team available to him on the night. I still don't know the answer to that question. And it's difficult to believe that this is a team that had third place to play for. Now, I can't remember. You guys, James probably might recall what third place gives you, but my understanding is third place would guarantee you group stage football.
Yeah.
Maybe in the Conference League, but it would guarantee you group stage football. Now, for the context of these clubs, that is huge. That is a massive revenue boost for the club, as well as the profile boost and the publicity and the TV and all that comes with it. So I would have thought yesterday was a hugely important game for Aberdeen, but my God, you wouldn't have known it the way that they played. So, definitely want to get into some of the performances from a Celtic perspective. I don't think anybody, to your point, to your question, Martin, surprised me really. Although I think young McCardle had a good little cameo.
That
at the
was
end.
exactly what I was thinking of
10
there.
10
I
minutes.
just thought, wow, yeah, I was really impressed.
And probably, again, hopefully people recognise that whatever opinions we may voice on here, when the information and the data and so forth changes, we'll change our opinion with them. So when Jeffrey Schlupp arrived, in the early weeks, I think we were all quite unanimous in the fact that he looks pretty handy and he would be not a bad person to have around the place. I suspect we've seen the last of Jeffrey. I don't think we'll see him in a Celtic shirt again. So that kind of surprised me a little bit. We can maybe dig into that. And it was nice to see Johnny Kenny score his first goal. That was a lovely moment. The guy was absolutely made up. Everyone was kind of teasing Liam Scales, the Irish Players Association on the bench there, giving him a good ribbon as well. So that was lovely. That was lovely to see. Really, really touching actually, and thrilled for him. So yeah, listen, there is actually quite a lot to get into, and especially in the context of what does this mean for the Scottish Cup final. And I can't wait to hear what Gavin's got to say next week when we have him on the show to preview the final about Aberdeen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose, James, I've come to you slightly differently here. Was it that Celtic's fringe players were so good, or was it just that Aberdeen were so bad? The press seemed poor. I mean, did you look at the data in that sense?
Yeah, I as always, I think it was some of both. I think a lot of our players I thought were functional and low risk. I think outside. It's like I'm on ground call.
We hope you enjoyed this free preview from all of us here at the Huddle Breakdown. We know you have options and we really appreciate you tuning in. To hear the rest of this episode and for much more Huddle Breakdown content, head on over to www.huddlebreakdown.com. We hope you consider subscribing. Thank you.